How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with another review. Pumped for this one for a couple different reasons. One, never had it before. Thought I did when I bought it, but I didn't. And two, I love me some barrel age Central Waters. They can really hit it out of the park more often than not. And three, got a little bit of time on it. It's kind of a trifecta going on right there. We have Central Waters. It's their Peruvian morning. I think I've had this before in like a bottle share at like at the Old Soul releases. I'm pretty sure. I know for a fact I've had what is it? Cassian Sunset? It might be. That's the one I think I definitely. That's what I confused this with when I had it because I was like, okay, wait a minute. I'm like, no, I've had Cassian Sunset, and that shit was amazing. I thought I reviewed it, but apparently I didn't. So I bought a beer just to drink, but I'm going to review it. So here we go. Like I said, Central Waters, when they do their... I don't know where my bottle opener is. Where did you go? This will work, right? Isn't that what this is? This is this whole thing in here, isn't it? Or is that a walnut cracker? I don't know what the hell that is. Yeah, we'll make it work. I don't know what the hell. Almost. Let's go old school here. I don't know where all my bottle openers went. It's weird. There we go. You can open a beer with anything. Yeah, so I'm pumped for this. Man, it's been a while. It's probably been a year or two since I've had any Central Waters barrel-aged stuff. And, I mean, there's been a couple ones that have kind of been like, man, it's okay. There's been no horrible ones. But, man, when they hit, they hit. And this one, I have all the hopes for it hitting. I think I might have broken... Did I break the bottle at all? I thought I saw a piece of glass on my table. I think I did. Oh, well. What are you going to do? So, anyway, let's dive into the beer. First things first, label. It's pretty much Central Waters. They do the same label on pretty much every beer with a little bit of background variance. And obviously, the lettering is different. And that looks like a big beer. What is this beer? I didn't even tell you guys yet. It is a malt beverage. That's what beer is. Aged in used oak bourbon barrels with coffee added. So you're talking about used oak bourbon barrels. We're not going to expect a huge bourbon component off it, but hopefully that coffee makes up for it. But maybe it won't, because this is 2 years old. They don't give you a month on this. But this is from 2018. You can see on the side here they have the little notch mark months, and 2018 is notched on this. I don't know when this comes out, so chances are this is about two to 2.5 years old, give or take, something like that. So yeah, she looks the part of like a barley wine, pretty much. Let's get a nose. I'm surprised at how much bourbon you're getting off of this. Now, it could be a combination of like a kind of tweener beer. By tweener beer, I mean sometimes I get a lot of like whiskey barrel-aged characteristics off of like a barley wine stout blend. That's what this could be. So it could be a combination of that bourbon and of the kind of bourbon coming off of that mixture of those two beers. You can get that from a little bit of age too, but probably a little bit from that barrel too. But when you're talking about having something that was in already used barrels, more often than not, they don't show that well. I'm looking for an ABV. Am I missing it completely? It's got to be in here somewhere, right? I do not see an ABV. I'm assuming it's going to be gigantic. Decent little Merc ring on her. So yeah. Rich cherry component to it. That's your bourbon. There's a maple syrup component to it. There's a soft cherry vibe throughout the whole thing. A little bit of roasty toastiness that I attribute more to malt than coffee. No, it's coffee-like. Yeah, it smells really pretty. It doesn't smell overly explosive, but that could really change in the taste. Let's find out. Cheers. I forgot. I pulled this off a shelf, so it's shelf temp, which is nice. It's a tasty beer. It tastes like a coffee stout, or like a coffee imperial brown ale. It's kind of how it comes off to me more than anything else. There's a cool kind of maple syrup component to it. Don't know where that's coming from, but I'm definitely getting in there. There's a little bit of like a bittering, roasted astringency. It's either coming from the coffee or from the roasted malts. I'm not hating it in this beer because since it is a relatively sweet, not even relatively, it's a decently sweet beer. I like that kind of bitter in contrast to kind of play with that. It does come off a little bit thin. I don't know the ABV in this, but this is double digits. You'd like this to be a little bit more kind of hefty. Then again, time's going to treat it like that. So with a little bit of oxidation, which is present in the taste, that's going to kind of kick down your kind of mouthfeel and body anyway. It's tasty. Let's put it this way. Cassian Sunset blew my titties off. This is not blowing my titties off. It's nice. It tastes like a really nice, well done bourbon barrel aged coffee imperial brown ale. That's kind of how it comes off to me. Tasty, delicious. This will not get wasted. Will not get poured. I will drink this whole thing. It's just not wowing me. Let's put it that way. But really tasty stuff. And this is kind of when I talked about Central Waters. This is probably like the lowest rung Central Waters hit for me with their barrel program. It's still a really tasty beer, that's what I mean. So when I was kind of jumping in this, and I say there's some misses, not necessarily misses, just ones that don't wow me. More often than not, they do wow me. So in that aspect, coming in this with very, very high hopes, it's a little bit of a kind of a letdown, but in the grand scheme of things, absolutely tasty beer. Yeah, big roast component, which I believe is coming more from malt, while being helped from that coffee. Cool kind of maple syrupy component to it. Nice kind of rich sub-barley wine, imperial brown ale kind of vibes going on. A bittering that is slightly astringent, but actually is welcome with how sweet the beer is. The bourbon is bigger than I thought it would be, which is a good thing, especially with it being a used barrel. It's really well made. The mouth feels, like I said, it's probably a little bit smaller than where I'd like it to be, but it does have a silky creaminess to it, so that's quite nice. It does remind me a little bit of like a coffee with a cream and two sugars kind of vibe going on, like a dark roast, something like that, so that in of itself is pretty fun, and a very tasty beer. I think I want to say I paid like $6 for this bottle. I'm okay with it. You know, I don't feel like I got burnt on the bottle, but at the same time, you know, I wish it was a show stealer. Let's talk about it. Is it one of the better bourbon barrel aged beers that I've had as of late? No, but it's tasty nonetheless. Value and availability. Like I said, I think I paid $6. I can find these actually at a couple different places, so they can be found. And leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, if you like aged beer, if you like bourbon barrel aged beer, you like Central Waters, you like coffee flavored beers, more like coffee flavored than maybe like candy bar. Think like Score Bar, those kind of things, and you just like vintage beer, trying beer, because that's where this is fun. You can't, not every beer can be a home run, and I think a lot of the good beers in between amazing and poopy are the beers that really kind of set your brain, set your expectations, set your palate, and kind of get you along the way when it comes to trying different stuff and appreciating beer for what it is. So if you like that, you like this. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully enjoying a little bit of a Central Waters jam right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.